What's up? Daniel once again. Day two. Day two of saying goodbye to my old self. Last night, I cannot lie, I had quite the anxiety attack. It was almost like I couldn't even breathe, couldn't even catch my breath. I couldn't really relax. My heart was racing. It's like the body panicking, saying like, where's my medicine? So since I don't really have a good track record of lying or lying to myself, especially, um, I had half a joint left from the night before, and I couldn't really resist. I was up till about 3 o'clock in the morning, talking to somebody on the phone. Having a nice little heart to heart, and which was great. It was just even they told me on the phone. They said you sound like you are anxious. It's like I couldn't really stop talking. I was going a mile a minute. I barely let them reply at times. It's just I just had so much to say, so much to get off my chest, and which actually leads me to one of the subjects I want to talk about tonight. Um, yeah, so I think I got off the phone around 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was wired, full of energy, like random spurts of energy at the most bizarre times. So I had that half a joint left. I smoked it to calm my nerves, ease my mind a little bit. And that's what I've been doing the last 4 or 5 nights or so. The THC content in my system has been decreasing gradually, and more than half a joint, I'm like, who needs to be this high? It's like slapping me in the face. So basically, yeah, I've been smoking about half a joint the last 4 or 5 nights. It's all I've really needed, and I had that half left from the night before, and I kind of wanted to throw it in the toilet, and just get rid of it and speed up the process. Except just how I felt was just so overwhelming, to the point I even called the kids' help phone, because I had to get some things off my chest. I was very uneasy with how I feel. It's like too many old suppressed emotions just kept coming to the surface. So it was a little bit overwhelming. So yesterday, day one, was not a fully clean day. I didn't smoke all day, but not that I needed that the half before bed, but I mean, trust me, it helped. At least it got me to sleep, calmed me down a little bit. Um, yeah, this stuff definitely, just like anything else, it will uh, it will suppress your emotions. It will suppress how you feel. it will basically make you a different version of yourself. You know, you're just more in avoidant mind state. You know, you'll avoid social interaction at times with certain people in certain environments, just because you're just stuck in your head. You're always in that zone, and everybody else is moving at a different pace. You're like you're like in quicksand or like a swamp. You're just slow, you know. So yeah, it's just the less and less I use, the more the THC content is decreasing in my bloodstream, the more everything I've been running away from, everything I've been trying to avoid all these years is like almost like a big slap in the face. It's just right there, bam, at the forefront. You can't even ignore it anymore, you know? So tonight I'm not gonna be smoking. If I toss and turn, if I sleep, if I don't, so be it. I don't really want to come on here every following day and say that I'm still dibble dabbling with it and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, So tonight I will make that sacrifice, and I'm definitely hoping for the best. I'm gonna just try to mellow myself out by a certain hour and just lay my head to rest and hope for the best. So on that note, yeah, I have a couple things I wanted to discuss that I wrote down, so I'm not just freestyling. So yeah, let me start here. Yeah, so I'll start with this can hinder your purpose and timing. So the way I process that in my own head is that, if you or me or any of us are destined for a certain thing, and that's our calling, that's our purpose, but we're using, let's say, Mary Jane and or other things as well. Alcohol is definitely a big one that will definitely keep you in a state of numbness and not facing yourself and your fears and your issues that you have to you know unravel and dissect and just deal with and then leave it behind you. So for instance, what I'm trying to say is basically, if your calling is not to be rich and drive cars, or even if it is, whatever it is, nice cars, jewelry, volunteering at a soup kitchen, the old brewery mission, homeless shelters, whatever, whatever your calling is, whatever, he wants you to do, or, he knows you got the heart for. If you keep yourself in a numb and sort of like in a shell, a shell of who you are, and just keeping that, you know, protective barrier around you and trying not to be seen or heard, and just trying to get through every day and not facing your issues, your obstacles, it's like if you're destined to, we'll use Kali Muscle, one of my favorites. God bless that man. I've learned a lot from that guy. He inspired me a lot. The entertainment is just off the charts. He's really, he's a fantastic guy if you ask me. Uh, I know some people who think otherwise because, they just, many are called, few are chosen, and that's just the way it is, right? So they have to deal with that and their own feelings of inadequacy. Me personally, I get inspiration from people that are better than me or on a path that I've never been on, and it inspires me to do better. And actually, what a guy to mention because Kali Muscle and a lot of his videos, he would joke around and say, you guys sitting around smoking your weed and just you're like a basically in a nicer way, you're like a bunch of bums sitting on the couch, hanging out with your friends, and just sitting in the basement at your parents' house, keyboard warrior, talking all that smack where it's safe. You know who you are. Yeah, I think he's a magnificent example of, when you let go of your vices, when you when you're able to, when you're able to beat those demons, and conquer yourself is probably one of the best ways to put it. Conquer yourself. When you're able to do that, you get certain blocks and obstacles out of your way in order for you to really become who you're supposed to be. Like, and I guess what I'm trying to say here is like, whatever you're using to self-medicate, to numb, to cope, it can really throw you off track. It can really hinder your progress, your the path that you're on. It could hinder any forward movement because you just feel kind of you use it to escape and to numb feelings that you should listen to. Like, hey, if the little voice in your head, we all know what it is and who it is, but the little voice in your head says, you should be doing better, you expect more from yourself, you should be here by now, why am I still here? Why am I still around these people? Why am I not excelling the way that I know that I should be, the way that I picture it in my head? But what you see in your mind, and when you look outside of yourself in your reality, when it doesn't match, it's like there's some things that you're not there's some things that you're not facing. You're not facing life head on. And I guess one of the main things I want to say is like, a lot of the big YouTubers and entertainers and people that I'm sure we all look up to, and we go to for entertainment and inspiration. I'm sure a lot or most of them, there's things that they had to give up. There's things that they had to sacrifice. There's parts of them that they had to leave behind because it was keeping them an old version of themselves, as well as it's like that side of them is not something that they want to show to the world. They're not proud of it. So we always have to keep that in mind, that people that we think have it all together or are at the top of their game, we always have to remember that there's things that they gave up. There's things that they had to let go. There's parts of them that they had to conquer, that they had to overcome. And what I'm trying to say is, if this message speaks to you and you're just stuck in that place of just numbing yourself with whatever it is, and you know you should be better, and you know you have the potential to do great things, my best advice is to, confront it head on, and get rid of those vices, so you could really be the best version of you. You could really be the best, put forth the best you, where other people can look up to you, other people can find strength and inspiration in your courage and your evolution, because it's like when we know that we're destined for much more, and we're not doing or taking the steps necessary that we know we need to in order to move forward, and we just, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and the longer you stay in it, I think the more difficult it will be to come out of it, because we just adapt. We just adapt to certain ways of life. We adapt to, certain ways of being, and we get stuck there. So I guess, like the best advice I have is to face it head on. If you've been suppressing things your whole life, not fitting in, breaking up with a girlfriend, losing relationships, friendships not lasting, or serving you the way they used to. It's like, if you know better, then you should do better. I think it's a lot easier said than done. So I think I'd like to add, whatever you're using any substance for, Mary J or anything else, I think that you should really seek counseling, seek therapy, find some type of a supportive group that can, really help to lift you up. If you feel like you're in a hole and you need, a helping hand to get out of it, then, put yourself into a position to be able to do so. Find the right support network of, let's say, like-mindedness, like-minded people who understand where you're coming from, and start taking the steps to get out of the hole or the quicksand that you're in. Like you keep trying to rise, or you keep trying to take those steps to better yourself, but if you keep falling back and you can't do it by yourself, which, let me tell you, it's difficult, I highly recommend that you just try to find some type of support group, like-minded people. If you got to go to church, meet nice, supportive people with a good heart over there, because I know a lot of people, a lot of times our friend groups, we get comfortable with these people that we think, lost my paper, we get comfortable with these people that we think are our friends, and I think we just adapt over a long period of time, and we think that these are our friends and we need them around because we get used to them, and they're the only people that are close by. It's all that we really have available to us. A lot of times that can keep us stuck, because these, a lot of people, they don't want to support your growth. They don't want to support They don't want to support you bettering yourself because they're not there yet and they don't have the vision or the willpower to begin the process to start being their best version, who they know they're meant to be, who they know they should be. Whatever they know deep down that they're lacking, to really go for it and to try to fill up their cup and, fix those loose ends about themselves. And, it's really not easy to face, it's easier said than done. But I think a lot of people, a lot of us, we know that we can do better. We know our potential deep down, and when we're not reaching for the stars, when we're not, you know, trying to shed our old skin like a reptile and become renewed and just put our best foot forward, uh, when we know better and we're not doing better, that, if you ask me from personal observation over many years, that's when, you'll be drowning yourself in the booze. You'll be smoking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day, and it will just become your normal because you're just trying to run away from what and who you should be. You're trying to numb the feeling of lack because you know your true potential. You have the energy, or the you still have you're still young. You're still young at heart, and you have the capability to do so much more. But if you're not in the right environment, we just stay stuck where we are, and we congregate, associate with people that are in the same place. They're comfortable where they are, and or so it seems. They'll convince themselves that they're okay and that they don't have to or they shouldn't strive for more. It's like we attract what we are. I used to be kind of conflicted with that concept, but we definitely attract exactly what we are, because it's like we're trying to find some kind of resonance with other people. But if we're sick and we're not in a good place and we have things that we need to fix, and we have past trauma, we have things from the past that we've never dealt with, and that's what we're going to attract. We're going to end up around the same kind of people, whether we have the same issues or not. It's just like damage attracts damage. Damaged people hang around with damaged people. And I don't want to put anybody down or be negative towards anybody. But I mean, that's the sad reality. When I'm at a low sometimes, and I would feel some types of loneliness, and I wouldn't hang around with certain people for a while, but then I would become a little bit vulnerable, I'd become a little bit too isolated. I would end up back around these people. Not to say that they're bad people, some of them are, but you know what I mean. I'd end up back around them, and I'd do all this drinking and maybe drive when I shouldn't, do stupid things that we, in our right mind, we usually wouldn't. We know better than that. But when we stay in those lows and we don't try to find, supportive support network of some kind, find stronger people, put stronger people around us to help lift us up, we will end up falling back into those old ways, because it's still familiar to us because we're not doing the work. We're not making the changes. Um, we're not doing what we know in our heart we're supposed to do. That's the airport back there. I'm not allowed in. Guess why? But we're not doing what we should do. We're not doing what we know. We're not doing what our conscience, which is why we're numbing with whatever substance. We're not doing what our conscience is telling us to do and what our conscience knows we should do. And, we're not developing new habits or building new relationships with better, more productive, more positive, more complete people. And we'll always fall back. And like I was just saying, just in the past few months, I would, just have a drink with somebody, and then I would end up at somebody else's house having more drinks. And, in the moment, you think it's cool. You're just hanging out. You're spending time with people, and, they're old friends, and, you think nothing of it. You think it's all innocent. There's nothing wrong, and it's all good, and you're just you need some social time, I'll say, right? Except last few times I've done these things and I've slipped up and I went back around, back into the comfort zone. That's a good way to put it. Back into the comfort zone. I'm in bed at 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, kind of dreading it. You're gonna go to bed and you're going to sleep incredibly late, and you're gonna wake up. If you have something to do in the morning, you're gonna be off for the whole day. If you don't force yourself up early, you're gonna sleep most of the day. You're gonna sleep till 2, 3 o'clock. Then your clock is off. Your circadian rhythm is just non-existent. And then for me personally, I felt a lot of guilt and shame come back, because it's just like I could barely look myself in the mirror. Like, you used to do this when you were a teenager, and here you are back at it again, hanging out, drinking, spending time with people that you don't even really have much in common with. It's just to fill a void temporarily. But if these people are empty themselves, what are we really doing? We're lying to ourselves that, oh, I'm just, I need some company or whatever. But we need better company. We need to get around people that want to better themselves, and they're taking the steps, and then we can build off of that. We can feed off of that, instead of going back to our own brokenness and being around other people who are in their own sorrow, and they're just doing enough to get by. They're settling for average. They're settling for less. And then when we go around that, that's what rubs off on us. When you wake up that next morning and you should be doing better, but there you are back at square one, hanging out and drinking and chilling with the boys and reminiscing on stupid things, stupidity, dumb memories, things that brought you nowhere. Where's that paper? You're gonna feel guilty, you're gonna be disappointed in yourself. It's gonna hinder your success. Because you're not taking any steps forward. You're settling for comfort, and you're just falling back into your old habits. And it's a very defeating or self-sabotage, you know? That's one of the best ways to put it. Self-sabotage. That's pretty much what you're doing. Surprised it only came to me now. That's the best way to put it. Self-sabotage. Shout out to Dan Pena. High performance. Yeah. So we think we're gonna go be social and we're gonna fill that void and we're gonna go talk to our old friends and it's gonna do something for us, but the problem is when all they have to offer you is a cold beer or a whiskey on the rocks or whatever, and it's many of them, one after another, and you guys all think you're doing something, you think you're going somewhere, you think you're making progress with all this mindless chit chat, mindless chatter goes nowhere, you know. You end up talking smack about people, you end up putting people down. You just end up in a lower frequency, you know, and that's the opposite of what you're trying to do. So yeah, I guess back to the point I was trying to originally make is that, you know, whatever you're destined to be in life, if you're using a substance of any kind, it could even be sleeping pills, could be anything, you know, could be food, could be anything. Whatever we're using to escape ourselves, to escape our own problems, to not face reality, to not handle our personal issues and fix our emotions, fix our defects about ourselves, you know. It's just we're just prolonging the process. We're just making it longer. It's just gonna take longer, man. It's just you're gonna be stuck in that vortex of garbage and just going around in circles, around and around, you know, leading to nowhere, and it's just gonna take you longer. And I think the point I really wanted to make with this is, you know, if you're smoking, you know, Mary Jane, or you're drinking, or whatever you're doing, if it's harder stuff than that, I wish you the best, and I hope that you get out of it sooner than later, because it's like, if we're destined to do something great, and you know, there's a force that's greater than us, you know, spirituality, whatever you want to call it, that knows and is ready to receive us and is ready to, you know, like, lead us to our destiny, you know, our path, our purpose. If we're destined for something but we stay stuck in these habits and we don't take the necessary steps to get better, I mean, take it from me, I'm so lucky that I'm so lucky that I just have this perseverance and this I'm just a very solid individual, you know. Thanks to the Most High. I'm very grateful that I was still able to make a lot of progress along the way, you know, regardless of hindering my own progress, my own growth. I could have been moving forward, you know, a lot faster than I did. I could have got out of this a lot sooner, you know. I could have, whenever I quit those random couple of times 10, 15 years ago, if I would have just stuck to it, I feel like I could have, you know, I could have reached certain destinations a lot sooner, you know. I could have figured out a lot of things a lot faster. I could have gotten a lot of obstacles out of my way at much earlier points in my life, instead of now where I'm like, I don't look that old, but yeah, it's just I could have been there a lot sooner, you know. And I think that's my message for anyone out there who listens to this, who feels that this speaks to them, you know, they can relate. It's just that the sooner you get out of it, the sooner we face our fears, the sooner we face our problems, the sooner that you know, we grab the bull by the horns and we spread our wings and we fly, you know. We do what we start moving in the direction that brings us fulfillment, you know, not temporary numbing of our problems and how we feel. It's like the sooner we get over these things, the sooner we can be who we're destined to be. The sooner we can, you know, those dreams and those images that we have in our head of where we should be and what we could do, and you know what we aspire to become in life, you know. It's like the sooner that we can get out of this trap of comfort and numbing ourselves and not facing anything, and the sooner we could get our, you know, we can develop those new habits, meet those new people, you know, that are really going to what's that, meet those people that we're supposed to be around, you know. Develop those skills that we know we should have. And I'm just saying, don't get lost in the sauce, you know. If you if you're destined for greatness, and you have those vices, my advice is to get rid of them as soon as possible, so that you can really be who you're destined to be. You can get there a lot sooner than later. And I would be very grateful if you know, if you took this advice, if anybody takes this advice, and you know, you just leave that old part of you behind and you become something magnificent, you know. You become something like where like even you will impress yourself, you know. You'll go above and beyond your own expectations, and you'll be able to look in the mirror and have a lot of pride looking at what you see, and just you'll be more fulfilled, and you'll, you know, like that void that we're always running away from, you know, we could fill it with something a lot greater than just addiction and numbing pain and not facing issues. So that's my message for today. It's a little bit longer than the other one. I hope I didn't ramble too much, but it doesn't matter. Said what I need to say. I'll be back tomorrow, day 3. Wish me the best. I wish you the best. Have a wonderful night, morning, evening, wherever you are. Peace, love, health, wealth, prosperity, abundance. I'm out.